Hi, Arcfieldweather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Tuesday morning, January 18th. A very active and cold weather pattern for the eastern part of the nation for the next couple of weeks. Looks like right through the remainder of January it remains cold and active, and in fact that pattern could last right into the early part of February. Again, for the central and eastern U.S., lots of cold air outbreaks and multiple snow threats on the table. In the eastern part of the nation, there will be the next snow threat comes early Thursday. Looks like with the arrival of an Arctic air mass, there can be a period of snow late Wednesday night, early Thursday morning. Doesn't look like a big deal, but it unfortunately may come right at AM rush hour time on Thursday. Maybe a minor to a moderate event, perhaps on the order of a coating to 2 or 3 inches or so in the D.C., Philadelphia, New York City corridor. That frontal system, the Arctic front, will stall out as it moves just to the south and east of the I-95 corridor region. That will allow Arctic air to push in for Thursday night and Friday, looking very, very cold indeed Thursday night and Friday in the Mid-Atlantic, in the Northeast U.S., and then one, perhaps even 2 different additional low pressure areas will ride up along that frontal boundary zone. The next one threatens with more snow for parts of the eastern U.S., especially the Mid-Atlantic region, Friday night, Saturday time frame, and that one certainly has a great deal of potential, but also more questions to answer at this particular time. Let's take a look here at some of the lows and highs over the next few days using the 0Z operational run of the GFS. A couple things I wanted to point out in this couple of threat time periods, early Thursday and then Friday into Saturday time period. Again, we're not looking at the radar reflectivities here. We will over the next couple of minutes, just at the lows and highs here as we start off the day on Tuesday. The powerful storm that has left many people without power in the eastern U.S. is finally pushing far enough away that the winds will tend to relax later in the day, and especially in the overnight hours in the northeastern part of the nation. Now let's move forward here, and we'll have a bit of a warm-up on Wednesday. This is the Tuesday evening forecast map. By the time we get to Wednesday morning, we'll have a little bit of a southwesterly flow in the lower part of the atmosphere in the Mid-Atlantic region. That will allow temperatures to rebound back up into the 40s on Wednesday afternoon. And this is the next frontal boundary zone right in this region right here. This is really the important player over the not only the Thursday morning snow threat, but the Friday night and Saturday snow threat as well, maybe even Sunday, associated with the stalled out frontal boundary zone. But this is a very cold air mass pouring into the northern plains here by tomorrow morning. This is very strong Arctic high in the southwestern part of Canada, south central part of Canada, and here's that frontal boundary zone as of tomorrow morning. We'll be ahead of it in the D.C., Philadelphia, New York City corridor on Wednesday. Milder conditions, southwesterly winds in the lower part of the atmosphere. Now watch what happens here. This frontal system moves in on Wednesday night, and certainly likely to be some rain developing. Here's that front right here, very noticeable on the surface pressure maps here. This is Wednesday evening. Some rain pushes into the Mid-Atlantic region as it's still relatively mild. Then by Thursday morning, and here we go, by Thursday morning, notice the front slides just to the south and east of the D.C., Philadelphia, New York City corridor. Can indeed be a period of snow right on the backside of this frontal system in that I-95 corridor region from D.C. to Philadelphia to New York City. Not all that much, maybe a coating on the upside, maybe up to 2 or 3 inches in some spots, but again, it could come at a bad time, right, coinciding with the morning rush hour on Thursday. So that is snow threat number 1 here, early Thursday. Don't want to dismiss that and just focus in on the weekend situation, because again, this could be a bad timing, albeit a minor to moderate type of snow event. Well, let's now push forward on these particular type of maps here, and I just want to point out what happens here. By the time we get into Friday, we have a very strong, cold, high-pressure system. I sometimes refer to these as like banana-shaped high-pressure areas, and indeed we have one setting up for a potential storm Friday night into Saturday. Very cold air setting up over the Mid-Atlantic region of the Northeast U.S. Whatever comes on Friday night and Saturday, it will certainly be a cold event. It looks like it'll encounter an Arctic air mass. We may get down to 10 to 15 degrees Thursday night, early Friday morning in the D.C., Philadelphia, New York City corridor, holding certainly in the 20s, and again, very strong banana-shaped high in control by the time we get to the end of the work week on Friday. Now let's move forward here. The operational run of the GFS even have kind of a setup here of what we call cold air damming. You can see the pattern in the isobars. Whenever you see a pattern like this, that's basically what we call cold air damming type of situation, where cold air pours down the eastern side of the Appalachians, and the isobars respond in this fashion, and it's a nice setup for snow or freezing rain or something frozen this time of the year. Now let's move forward here and just watch. Here is the low pressure area riding along that stalled out Arctic frontal boundary zone that by this time has moved into the southeastern part of the country and the western part of the Atlantic Ocean. Right now the GFS is far enough to the south and east that it only skirts the Mid-Atlantic region. That is certainly capable of changing a little bit farther to the north and west, which would bring perhaps some serious snowfall to the D.C., Philadelphia, New York City corridor. Again, Friday night, Saturday time frame, something we'll have to closely monitor over the next couple of days. Now let's take a look at the vorticity field from the 0Z run of the operational version of the GFS. Again, powerful storm over the last couple of days, slowly pulls away off into the Canadian Maritimes today. And here we go by Wednesday morning. Again, we'll have some ridging popping up over the Mid-Atlantic region, maybe a little bit milder conditions here for sure, in the low to mid-40s, probably the mildest day of the week. Not warm, but certainly milder than today, and much milder than what we'll experience on Thursday and Friday. Now, as we go into Wednesday night time frame, one thing I wanted to point out here, the Arctic frontal boundary is sliding in. It's not a fast mover. It's going to be sliding in from the northwest to the southeast. And see these winds here aloft. This is kind of the problem with the frontal system, in the fact that it's going to stall out. The front will be basically parallel to these winds. Won't get much of a push, and so won't drive too far to the south and east. But the other thing I want to point out here is look at this wave of energy right here as of Wednesday night. That is kind of a key to the potential for a period of snow early morning on Thursday. Let's move forward here and watch what happens. Here is a little bit of energy, a little bit of a low pressure area forms along that Arctic frontal boundary zone early Thursday, all the way out into Thursday morning. Here we go. And again, by this time, let's say 7 o'clock Thursday morning, that front should be south and east of D.C. The cold air influx certainly being felt by Thursday morning rush hour time. Any rain overnight likely to change over to snow, and again, there could be a period of snow early Thursday to coincide with that morning rush hour. Looks like a minor to a moderate event, but we can't dismiss it. Maybe on the order of a coating to 2 or 3 inches on the upside here. Now let's move ahead, and we have that frontal system not going too far to the south and east, given this flow in the upper part of the atmosphere. Very, very cold conditions Thursday night going into the day on Friday, and this is a key player for the potential storm Friday night, Saturday time frame. Another wave of energy drops in from the west into the eastern U.S. and really a stretched out area of energy here. This is the Friday morning forecast map, and again, keeping in mind, we'll have a frontal boundary zone right in this region right here, and the end result very well could be low pressure trying to push up the eastern seaboard. How far it comes, still a question. Here we go all the way into Saturday morning. A lot of energy here. Again, one of the things we'll focus in on over the next few days is how far to the north that coastal storm can come Friday night, Saturday. One thing's for certain, if it does make it all the way up to impact the Mid-Atlantic region, it'll be encountering a cold air mass. This will be true Arctic air in place. There won't be a question of rain or snow in D.C., Philadelphia, New York City Friday night, Saturday. At least the way I see it right now, it will encounter, whatever comes, a very cold air mass. Well, how cold? Let's take a look at the 850 millibar temperature anomalies. We have cold air to start the day here, probably holding in the 30s today in the Mid-Atlantic regions, I-95 corridor region, with some stiff winds continuing. Then it turns milder on Wednesday, the warmest day of the week on Wednesday, probably 40 to 45 for afternoon highs, D.C., Philly, New York City. But look at this, upstream we have this Arctic air mass, and we saw that very strong high pressure, which ultimately becomes kind of a banana-shaped high pressure right here. Very cold air pouring into the central plains and northern plains on Wednesday. And here's that frontal boundary zone by Wednesday evening. Rain will move in later on Wednesday night, but with this influx of cold air by Thursday morning, quite likely to change over to snow, maybe even a period of snow when Thursday morning as this Arctic air moves into the region. And once that Arctic air reaches the Mid-Atlantic Northeast, this is the Friday morning forecast map, it'll stick around. Certainly, as I said earlier, any storm that does manage to work its way up the eastern seaboard Friday night, Saturday, or even Sunday will encounter Arctic air. This is the Saturday morning forecast map, and it stays colder than normal right into the day on Sunday. When you're colder than normal, mid to late January in the Mid-Atlantic region, chances are you're cold enough for snow, and indeed, if a storm does ride up the coast Friday night, Saturday, it will encounter this cold air mass. Well, let's wrap up with the radar reflectivity maps included here with the surface pressures on the 0Z run of the GFS. Still windy today in the northeast. Those winds die down tonight as high pressure edges into the area, and here we are by Wednesday morning. Very cold air pouring into the northern plains. We mentioned yesterday these dashed blue lines. They represent thickness values, thickness of the atmosphere. In this particular case, these dashed blue lines represent the thickness of the bottom half of the atmosphere from 1,000 millibars, which is basically surface level, up to 500 millibars, basically the midpoint of the atmosphere. When you get down to 498 thickness, that represents air that is oftentimes this time of the year below zero. And expect below zero conditions on Wednesday morning here in the northern plains, and that is the kind of air, not below zero, but Arctic air coming into the Mid-Atlantic region for Thursday night, Friday time frame. Here we go. By Wednesday evening, active frontal system right in this region right here with some rain breaking out, and rain should break out. Certainly warm enough to begin as rain later Wednesday night, D.C., Philadelphia, New York City. But as that colder air pours in, not pours in, it'll kind of filter in, again with this slow-moving frontal system. The rain likely to change over to snow, D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, and points to the north and west by Thursday morning, probably in time for the Thursday morning commute time, the Thursday morning rush hour. And again, there can be that period of snow, maybe a coating to a couple of inches in the I-95 corridor region Thursday morning. That clears on out. That frontal system then kind of stalls out along the Carolina coastline. Very cold air pours in, anchored by strong high pressure, not only to the north, but really to the northwest as well. Definitely a banana-shaped Arctic high pressure setting up in this region right in here. And this will have Arctic air just pouring down the east side of the Appalachians. This is the Friday morning forecast map. No way we'll get out of the 20s in D.C. and Philadelphia, New York City on Friday. Very cold air indeed. And then we'll watch as another wave of low pressure will form along that stalled out Arctic frontal boundary zone. Exactly how far to the north it comes, and this is the 0Z run of the GFS. It does have some snow over Delmarva Peninsula, southern New Jersey. Some other models, like the European model, certainly appear to come farther to the north and west with this particular system. And again, whatever comes up the coast on Friday night and Saturday, it will encounter a very cold air mass in place. So we have multiple threats to monitor for the next several days, and really the next couple of weeks. Multiple cold air outbreaks as well. An Arctic front arrives early Thursday. Any rain overnight, Wednesday night, can change to a period of snow early Thursday. Mid-Atlantic region, especially the D.C., Philadelphia, New York City corridor. Maybe some minor accumulations, minor to moderate event. More potential with the Friday night, Saturday possibilities, and maybe even Sunday if that doesn't pan out. Sometime this weekend there's greater potential, certainly beginning with the Friday night, Saturday event. We'll see over the next couple of days if indeed this surface low ends up pushing farther to the northwest. Certainly not out of the realm of possibility. That's it for now. For ArcfieldWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.